It was completely unforeseen, a shocker. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. The warrior congresswoman so dogged and fierce, leaving the field of battle, her alliance with President Trump shattered. Her video resignation statement last month, that she'll be leaving Congress a year before her term expires, came after President Trump said he would throw his support to someone else for her seat. She became famous, some would say infamous, with her incendiary insults and belief in conspiracy theories, such as 9/11 was an inside job, and that the shooting at the Parkland School in Florida was staged. At one time, the president had no more ardent defender. But things soured over Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender accused of trafficking girls as young as 14. Does Greene's defection signal a split in MAGA? Is she leaving politics for good? And exactly why is she leaving?
It wasn't a decision that I came to lightly, but it was a very important decision for myself and also for my family.
It was sudden.
It was sudden, but a lot of things changed. I stood for women who were raped when they were 14 years old, and the president that I fought for 5 years called me a traitor for that. And so that changed the landscape of things.
So I'm going to ask you straight out. Did you surrender? Did Donald Trump run you out of town?
No, not at all. Actually, Leslie, it's more like this, is I said in my statement, I will be no one's battered wife, and I meant it. And I won't allow the system to abuse me anymore.
You really feel abused. You know, he did come after you pretty hard. He called you a lunatic, I'm quoting. He said all she does is complain, complain, complain in caps, and then he called you a traitor. So he hit you, whacked you.
Yes, he did this in the same time span where President Trump brought in the Al-Qaeda leader that was wanted by the U.S. government, who is now the president of Syria. Then within a week, he brought in the Crown Prince, MBS, who murdered an American journalist. And then he brought in the newly elected Democrat.
You need to?
Yeah.
Why?
Cause short is, I think short looks better. Do you think short looks better or long looks better?
Seth Donaldson had a bright future.
He had so much going for him.
He wanted to be a chef. He was working at Commander's Palace.
Very energetic, very hardworking.
That hope ended. His life ended. October 28th, when he crashed through this window and fell to his death. Did he jump through it? Did he fall through it?
Just a lot of loud noise there.
Was he pushed through it?
It sounded like they struggled a little bit.
His parents say the investigation into his death was fatally flawed. But that's not the end of this story.
He fell through a window?
I think if he were thrown up against the window accidentally, there's a very big problem with the window.
You can get through a window, but it ain't easy. Shouldn't be easy.
Are high-rise windows safe?
There's a crack in everything. Like he says, that's how the light gets in.
The story of that window begins back in time, 6 decades back in time, in 1953 as an office building. But architect Marcel Wisnia converted it to apartments in 2011. Wisnia once estimated to the state the Saratoga would cost $31.5 million to convert it to apartments. But there's nothing in city records to indicate that he changed out the building's original 1950s windows.
He's actually beating on this.
I went to a window expert to find out what 1950s windows might be. So Ronnie, how long have you been working in the glass business?
About 45 years.
45 years, so you know a little bit about glass.
A little bit.
He has supervised window installation for projects as small as a door, as big as a high-rise hotel. If I learned anything from talking with him, it's that windows and the glass inside them are not created equal.
Anneal laminate. 9/16/030 might even be .015.
I showed him this video taken of the window Seth Donaldson smashed through when he fell to his death out of Unit 1201 at the Saratoga Lofts. Like razor-sharp teeth, big shards of glass remained tucked in the window frame.
It almost absolutely had to be annealed, non-heat treated glass. I can't see how he could go through it otherwise.
Annealed glass, what we commonly call plate glass. Depending on the thickness of it, it's the easiest to break. And one of the only ways to spot it is after it breaks. It shatters into big chunks that can cut like a knife.
It broke like annealed glass, and as old as that building is, I would be really surprised if they had heat-strengthened glass in there. Although, if it would have been heat-strengthened, it's very possible he wouldn't have gone through it because it's much stronger. And he probably, not much chance at all, he would have gone through it if it was tempered.
Each type of glass breaks differently. Take tempered glass, for example. A hit head-on with a hammer does nothing. But tempered glass does have weak points along the edges. Hit one of those, even that can be considered safer than the type of glass likely in the Saratoga windows because the little pebbles are not as sharp. In fact, New Orleans Glass uses them to pad their parking lot.
Are we dealing with annealed glass, which is sharp and bright and the cheapest stuff you can find and is definitely not appropriate for windows?
Amy Donaldson has a lot of questions about that window, Seth's window. Was it up to code?
The International Building Code regulates windows in three main ways: through impact, through wind load, and by location. In new buildings in New Orleans, the windows from the ground to 30 feet in the air have to be able to withstand the impact of big things. Big things like, say, a 2x4 because of hurricanes. From 30 feet to 60 feet in the air, those windows have to be able to withstand the impact of small things like a rock or a pebble. And then from 60 feet in the air all the way up, the impact requirements pretty much go away. They just have to be able to withstand about 140-mile-an-hour winds. But those safety requirements also depend on where the windows are positioned inside the building and how big they are. For example, floor-to-ceiling windows are going to have safeguards that are required. But if you shrink those windows and move them at least 36 inches off the floor in an apartment building, for example, those safeguards go away.
You look at a building like that, and I've counted up, I think 800 windows. How many windows are there that kind of thing could happen? It's insane to think that we care about safety only up to the 5th floor.
So what's the deal with the Saratoga? How did Wisnia update the building without updating the windows? We sat down with the New Orleans Safety and Permits Director, Zach Smith, to find out.
In historic buildings such as the Saratoga, this undergoing the renovations it underwent without specifically asking to change windows would not be required to change windows.
There's this tiny paragraph in the International Building Code that allows historic exemptions for anything that building officials say is not a, quote, distinct life safety hazard.
The real kicker here is that it's a historic renovation. So they get historical exemptions to keep the windows that are original to the building.
I'm gonna throw a chair right now.
And the Saratoga is not alone. In fact, you can hear the change. Construction. Historic office conversions are booming downtown.
There's quite a few. We're talking about dozens and dozens and dozens downtown.
Using city permit data, we found at least 100.
I'm 55 and 254 pounds. How long will it take me to lose 44 pounds with Asian Walk?
It was completely on one issue after the next, accusing him of betraying his MAGA America First promises. You went after his, I think you said, trying to entangle us in foreign wars. You said Air Force One should be parked, no more foreign trips.
For an America First president, the #1 focus should have been domestic policy, and it wasn't. And so, of course,
we've known him for a while, like we're from the same
course I was critical, because those were my campaign promises. Once we fix everything here, then fine, we'll talk to the rest of the world.
She said in her resignation video that the president has gone establishment, forsaking the base and her.
If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class.
Are you saying that the president now is siding with those establishment powerful people and against MAGA?
He passed a crypto bill that helped out all the crypto donors. He has served Israel's interest, even attacking Iran. He has served Big Pharma. He didn't take away the COVID vaccines that we want to see taken away. So those are the areas that are still getting everything they want, while the people, we're still out here saying we want to see action on areas for the American people, not for the major industries and the big donors.
Greene has built her reputation on feisty combat and inflammatory insults, like calling President Joe Biden a liar during the 2023 State of the Union. It's been 5 years of almost constant drama.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up. No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
With her adding fuel to the nation's loss of civility. Then, 3 weeks ago, she went on CNN with a surprise, a mea culpa.
And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
But it became clear to us that she hasn't entirely lost her appetite for combat.
It's the most toxic political culture, and it's not helping the American people.
But you contributed to that. You were out there pounding, insulting people.
Leslie, you've contributed to it as well with your own program. Yes, you're accusatory, just like you did just then.
I know you're accusing me, but I'm smiling.
You're accusing me.
I am accusing you.
But we don't have to accuse one another.
I want you to respond to what you have done in terms of insulting people, yelling at people, and then saying...
I'd like for you to respond for that.
I don't...
No, you can respond to that.
I don't insult people.
You do in the way you question, and you're accusing me right now.
One thing she did want to talk about, Congress's failure to pass spending bills, meaning that she has found it hard to get funds for projects in her district.
It's an utter failure, not just to the people in my district, but every district across the country.
We met Greene, 51, in her district in Georgia. Before Congress, she ran her family's construction company, then opened up her own CrossFit gym.
Affordability is a real issue.
President says it's not, says it's a hoax, affordability.
It's one of the top issues, not only in my district, it's across the country.
The affordability of health insurance caused Greene to side with the Democrats during the government shutdown to support extending health care subsidies. Did you ever imagine that you would be standing with the Democrats on the Epstein files and on health care subsidies?
No, I never imagined that.
She's not afraid to be an outlier. She's the only Republican member of Congress to call the war in Gaza a genocide. And why did you vote against the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act?
Since I've been a member of Congress, we've had several resolutions that constantly denounce anti-Semitism. I've already voted denouncing anti-Semitism many times before. It becomes an exercise that they force on Congress, and I simply got tired of it.
Is there no value in having the United States Congress reaffirm the fact that they denounce anti-Semitism in the face of a growing issue, a growing problem?
We don't have to get on our knees and say it over and over again when we
Get on our knees?
Yes, we do not have to get on our knees.
Well, most members of Congress disagree with you.
Well, most members of Congress take donations from AIPAC, and I don't.
AIPAC is an American pro-Israel lobbying group. Greene's perspective indicates a growing rift within MAGA over support